I'm Penny Dick's AstroCoach. Welcome to tonight's live stream, and this is to give you the heads up about what you can expect with the forthcoming new moon annular solar eclipse in Gemini, which is actually happening on the 10th of June. That's this coming Thursday. And I always think it's a good idea to give you a heads up a few days before so that you have time to kind of think about what may be going on with the energy of this particular new moon. But before I get into that, I just want to say a big thank you to Stormy Grace, the lovely American astrologer who invited me on her show Eat and Greet this last week, and we had a lovely interview. We did a lovely chat all about the law of attraction and how that can meld in or merge in with astrology. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do. I'm going to drop the link for the YouTube channel in the description box underneath the video, and you can also find it on my Facebook page. That's Penny Dick's AstroCoach page. And also, if you haven't checked out while I'm on this stuff, if you haven't checked out your June horoscopes, that's on my YouTube video, and I'll drop the link in the description box underneath the video for that. And so you've got June and this amazing interview. It really did go extremely well. And I say, if you're watching, Stormy, thank you so much. Really appreciate the invite. And also thank you to the new subscribers, and very much, if you have not yet subscribed, please like, share and subscribe. It's really super when you do that, and it's great. So thank you in advance. I'm just going to say, before I start talking about this forthcoming solar eclipse, that are you having any Mercury retrograde moments? Because I am. I cannot tell you the things that have happened in the last few days. I wouldn't even begin to itemize them. And normally I'm very kind of like, oh, okay, Mercury retrograde, second chances to go back and address things that have been left undone. And it does mean that as well. But this time, Mercury retrograde has really bitten me in the proverbial underside, let's put it that way. And I have had no end of issues. So just think about that. Mercury is retrograde until June the 22nd, when it will station direct, and then things hopefully will ease up. So if things are a little bit haywire at the moment, don't worry, it will get there. We will get there. Now, I mentioned Mercury because Mercury is actually conjunct this sun, moon, new moon, solar eclipse in Gemini. So this is very much about communication. Gemini is all about communication, thinking, thought. It's also about social media platforms. It's about writing. It's about information. So this would tell us that this forthcoming annular solar eclipse in some way brings information to the table. Now, what do I mean by that? Because what's incredibly interesting is that this new moon solar eclipse is actually squared by Neptune in Pisces. Now, why that's difficult is because Neptune is like smoke and mirrors. It's like false information or misinformation. And because it's a square, it means that it's a challenging angle. So we may already be beginning to see areas like this kind of unfolding on the sort of the world stage. and also maybe in our own private lives. Now, what I mean by this is that I think we have to be very careful what we take at face value with this energy. And the energy of this eclipse lasts for several months. So you have to actually also be aware of what information comes to you over the next few months, and really, really do your research. Have a look and check it out. If something doesn't feel right, the chances are it's not. Now, I'm going to come on to how that will affect you each individually when I get to your zodiac signs. So do stick around for that, because I'm just going to give you the general overview and information about this annular solar eclipse before I do your zodiac signs. But let's just have a look at what an eclipse is about, because for us up here in the Northern Hemisphere and in the Southern Mediterranean, which is where I'm based in the lovely Gozo, and which is a sister island of Malta, we will not see it. We will see the new moon when it shows later on this week, but it often it rises quite late, so it's unlikely that well, certainly I won't be up, but that's another story. But this particular annular solar eclipse is called, it means ring-shaped, and it's like a ring of fire around. So you have the moon's shadow, or it's the earth, the moon, and the shadow of the moon on the earth creates this cover on the sun, and it looks like a ring of fire. Now, it's going to be visible, weather permitting, in some locations in Russia, Greenland, and Canada. And also, again, if weather permits, certain locations in the United States, China, Mongolia, and parts of Northern Europe will see a partial solar eclipse. Now, the timing for this, if we look at it in terms of the Northern Hemisphere, and I'm looking at Central European daylight time, it would be starting at around 12:53. So that's just coming up to 1 p.m. So let's just see what else. The scientific information, just to let you know, because I do want to credit this website called timeanddate.com. They really are good, and they give you all the information about all the lunations from the astronomical point of view. And as an astrologer, I'm very keen to have my knowledge and understanding of astronomy and the science backing up what I say. So let's have a look. What else have we got here? I'm moving on now to, the stages of a solar eclipse. The solar eclipse starts as a partial eclipse, and there are 5 distinct stages. You can look this all up on Time and Date, but I'm just going to run through it very quickly with this particular one, because this one will probably last for about 3 hours in the locations where it's visible. And I really have to put in at this point, if you're in a location where you can see it, you must protect your eyes. Never look directly at the sun, and never look directly at the sun when there's a solar eclipse taking place. You can really damage your eyesight, and permanently. There are available proper eye protection, like eclipse glasses. And I remember when I was much younger, this gives my age away, and we had x-rays, you could hold the x-ray photograph up to the sun, and then you could see the eclipse through that. And another way is through a pinhole projector, and you can look all of that up online to get the information of it. But now let's look at the astrological implications of this new moon solar eclipse. As I said a bit earlier, I really feel this is going to be about smoke and mirrors. I feel that there is something going on as we speak, and news that's been hidden for us will come to light. And I think the news will be challenging for the situations and people involved. And I'm thinking about this on the world stage. So at the same time as this eclipse is going on, we have the planet Mars, the god of action, energy, aggression, war, in Cancer, which it's not comfortable at, so it gets a bit itchy there, it's drowning a bit, it's going to get a bit hot and bothered and steamy, and it's opposing Pluto that's in a retrograde motion in Capricorn. So what does this mean? Well, Pluto is all about the deconstruction of that which no longer serves us. So let's just see this as the bigger picture on the world stage. This is about what doesn't serve us. This is about governments that have gone past their sell-by date. So ways of governing that need to be born again, that need to renew themselves with the energy of this new moon. And I think with this energy, especially because we've got the element of misinformation around with this, and you know, real kind of possibilities of surprising and scandalous news, because we've still got that hard square from Uranus in Taurus to Saturn in Aquarius. And, you know, this is, we're moving towards it being exact again in the middle of June. So we're not far off that. We're like 10 days off that being exact. So I really feel that we're going to see governmental institutions in various parts of the world pushed to boiling point. And the truth and the lies will all be drowning in misinterpretation. Now, solar eclipses always precede significant endings, beginnings, and much needed change. So it's no surprise that the ancients saw eclipses bringing dramatic changes to their leadership. And it was known with eclipses, especially solar eclipses. It presaged the death of kings. Just before I came online, I saw that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, his lovely wife, had their second child today. How interesting is that? This young lady, it's a daughter, Lily, I think her name is, Lilibet. This young lady is born in the energy leading up to a new moon solar eclipse. That's super cool for this lady. She's going to be a significant person. I probably won't be around to see it, but this young lady is going to have a significant impact on the world. And I think it will be positive. So I think also this energy could see even the downfall of a world leader, or something going, you know, scandalous again around somebody who is in a position of authority. So we could see some shocking revelations. It doesn't necessarily come right now or on the day, but the energy of this eclipse lasts for several months. So just be mindful of what comes up over the next few months. The thing that was in my mind all the time when I was researching this was the Profumo affair from many, many years ago, Christine Keeler. But I'm going to say it because sometimes these things pop into one's mind for a reason. And it was all about, you know, sort of pretty nefarious pursuits and, you know, basically high-class hostesses. And it caused a huge scandal. So let's look on at how this plays out in our individual lives, because with this energy, and this is where you've really got to sit in your truth. You have to sit in your truth and integrity. If we come from that place of truth and integrity in our dealings with others, then we're much more likely to reap the benefits that this new moon solar eclipse offers. Because then it can bring the brilliant opportunities to do with communication, to do with dreams and ideas, to do with social media and social media platforms, maybe changing things, making things much more user-friendly. There are all sorts of spin-offs that could come from this energy. But there is a warning with this, because if you are a little bit involved in nefarious pursuits, I love that word, nefarious, it will not be so beneficial for us. So my advice is to stay within your truth. And if there are areas of your life which need tweaking, tidying up, you must bring them in alignment with your truth. And you need to do that now. So the energies of this eclipse are immutable signs. Gemini is a mutable sign, and so is Pisces, where Neptune is. And this is about flexibility and malleability. It moves, it shifts. We're never quite sure which way it's going to go. So my feeling is that with this energy of Neptune, the ruler of Pisces there, it's like Pisces or Neptune is being urged by the sun and the moon in Gemini to get us to remove the scales from our eyes and to not give up seeking our own truth and the collective truth. So coming back to retrograde Mercury, it's also giving us a chance to repair the damage we may have inadvertently caused by our words and actions. So we've got time to repair what needs fixing. And finally, before I move on to your individual signs, Venus has newly arrived in the sign of Cancer. Venus is about soothing troubled waters, and Venus will be helping ease the way with anything that comes to us now that is potentially destructive or shocking. So try and stay with the positive vibes and energies, and don't get sucked in to negative stuff. I personally have had a bit of negativity in my environment lately, just from people around me, and I take a deep breath, take a step back, and just go, I'm not going to join this. I'm going to be mindful of my thoughts, mindful of my self-talk, because I know then that the universe will have my back and it will treat me kindly, and the same goes for you. So let's come on to your individual signs. How is this energy going to affect you, Aries? Well, of course, for you, Aries, it is very much, it's like a double whammy of this being about communication and social media. And it does feel to me that you are becoming aware in your inner soul, in your psyche, of things that are happening in your life that just don't sit well with you. I think you're being urged by this new moon to make some changes, to make some significant changes, and break away from situations and people that do not serve you. It's really important that you stay on a high and pure vibration, to cope with the planet Neptune in your 12th house of the inner self, because otherwise it's not difficult to drown in that kind of ruminations and overthinking. And I think also, Aries, I just want to say, be mindful of what's going on with your working life and your career path at the moment. There may be those around that are trying to undermine you. So it's just a heads up. It's not negative, you know, because astrology is great, because it gives us the keys to see where we can, like, take a step back and just see how we can handle this in a little bit of a better way. So let's move on to you, Taurus. Okay, this for you is changes, significant changes to do with what you value most. This is something you have dreams and ideas about. It's maybe a project that you want to get going with a larger group of people. And this eclipse is saying, take your time. Slowly, slowly wins the race. And Taurus is quite good at taking Taurus's time. And remember, you've got Uranus, the planet of surprise, the unexpected, shocks, innovation. And you've got Uranus in your first house. So I think you just have to take a step back, because with Uranus coming up to square Saturn again in your house of career, just take a step back. And even though it's a new moon solar eclipse, I would be mindful of the ongoing astrology as to when you want to launch new projects. Gemini, of course, Gemini, this new moon solar eclipse is in your sign. So this is very significant for you. And if you do know the degree of your sun, that'll determine whether this is going to be a very powerful eclipse for you, or just it'll just pass by unnoticed. And if you do want to find this information out, get in touch with me. I can tell you where your sun is, and if the Gemini eclipse is near your sun. So, you know, you can message me, not a problem. And also, because there's something about this eclipse for you, Gemini, that I think you're feeling a little bit lost. You have ideas, but you just can't launch them yet. And we know that we've had all these restrictions from, you know, dare I mention it, you know, the virus. But I think it's got to a point where you're just finding that the tension of the energies of these planets too much to bear, and you want to break out. And I'm just going to say, calma, Gemini, just slow down. Let's get there one step at a time. Cancer. Okay, so this is in the area of your chart connected with the inner you. It's also about new beginnings. It's a little bit like, you know, when we reset a computer, it feels as if you need to switch your psyche off and reset it and start again. And this new moon solar eclipse is giving you the opportunity to do that. And what I feel it's going to do is help you connect with a kind of higher energy, a kind of that you really will be able to connect with that divine energy that we're all part of. So that's just what I feel. And I think you will, with the energy of this eclipse, which is going to last for several months, you're going to have quite extraordinary ideas about how to change your path and how to manifest what you want to manifest in a way that perhaps you hadn't envisaged before. Leo, it's in your house of hopes, wishes, projects, larger groups of people. So what are you up to, Leo? You seem to be kind of working in the wings on some big project to launch something. And there could be some little hitches holding that up, with perhaps just trying to get everything just in place. Be patient, because it will come. And I think, Leo, sometimes you're too in charge, and sometimes you need to just slow down. You need to actually listen to what others have to say. And this is a Gemini new moon. This is about communication. So Leo, listen to the input of business partners and close personal relationships, because they may have information for you that is really, really super helpful that you hadn't thought of. Virgo, new ideas, new paths can open up for you on your soul path, your career, your passion, whatever it is that you want to really unfold in your life. I think there may be people around you, especially very close loved ones, who will try and throw you off course a bit and say, what? Oh, well, if you want to do that. But you've got a vision. You have a vision, Virgo. And you know what? Just go for it, Virgo. Do it. Because your routine needs to be shaken up. And I think mid-June, you're going to see your daily routine quite shaken up. And you're not very good at that, Virgo, because you like everything just so. But watch out for the middle of June. It will change. Libra. I think soon, Libra, you are going to see some of your dreams coming true with regard to just stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing a bit of travel. I think there's going to be much more potential with this new moon for you to initiate some interesting journeys. Now we're all vaccinated out, and I'm not getting into that. I'm not going to say whether one's a vaccine person or not. I just think, it's you have to do what's right for you. But Libra, this is a good new moon solar eclipse for you. I think you're going to see the end of waiting. I think you've been waiting for things to shift, for things to change. And even though it won't be quite absolutely just yet, you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. How cool's that? Right, Scorpio, let's have a look at you. So, this is about commitment. What are you thinking of committing to over the next few months? Because something's going on up here in your thinking area. And I think it has to do with romance, and it could be that you are thinking of moving somebody who is a romantic partner into something. So I would say moving this person from the 5th house, which is about fun and romance, into the 7th house, which is actually much more about a significant relationship. Something in the nature of that, I think, is happening for you with this eclipse. Sagittarius. This, of course, is all about your significant relationships. And if changes need to be made, if air needs to be cleared because there's been some frustrations and not understanding each other, or somehow being tuned in on different wavelengths and nothing gelling, then that's going to change with this energy. And your daily routine is going to change as well. It's just going to get a bit of a shake up. And I think there's going to be more local journeys. You're going to be seeing, and it's actually going to be a little bit stressful because suddenly it's as if everything opens up and you're thinking, oh my God, I've forgotten how to do all of this running around here, there and everywhere, but you'll do it, Sag. All right, Capricorn. This is about how you serve yourself and how you serve others. How do you communicate with yourself? How do you communicate with others? Because I think sometimes you speak before you've properly thought it through. So try, with the energy of this new moon, to stand back and just be mindful of what you say to others. Be mindful of what you, as I say to yourself. And think about, does what I'm thinking and feeling and saying serve me, serve others and the greater good? And just be aware that if you are thinking of spending any money in connection with, say, artistic pursuits and beautiful things, that we have got this contraction coming back in the middle of June. And I do think that with the Uranus-Saturn square that we get in the middle of June, we're going to see a little bit of a slowdown again, and the economy in general might just slow down. So just be mindful of that. And we're nearly out of time, so I shall move on swiftly to Aquarius. Well, Aquarius, you are going to be making some decisions about starting new projects to do with maybe the arts, music, getting out there, having fun. It feels like you have all these great ideas of what you want to do, and be creative in interior design. And, you know, it could be that some of you are actually moving house or and moving location. And so you're really into this sort of, you know, making your new space absolutely lovely and in tune with who you are. But again, be mindful of what I was saying about this contraction we're getting with Uranus and Saturn, because Saturn, of course, is in your first house at the moment. And that's going to hopefully be the kind of spine for you at the moment, the backbone to just keep you slowing down and staying mindful. Let's move on to Pisces. So Pisces, this is in the area of your chart connected with your home. And of course, your ruling planet Neptune is in your first house, and it's making quite a harsh angle to this new moon solar eclipse. What I feel this is telling me is that basically you need to communicate your truth. If there's something you're not comfortable with about your living space or people in your living space, or it may be that you're missing people that are close to you that you're kept apart from, try and find more creative ways to work with that energy, because these difficult situations that we're in are not going to go away sort of very, very quickly. I wish I could say they were, but I do think the current restrictions are going to be with us a little longer. But it doesn't mean that it won't change and that it can't improve. Pisces, use Neptune to go within, because you can really learn a lot about yourself if you do this inner work at the moment with Neptune, because it's about you having to see through your own kind of misinformation, the veils that get in the way of your sight. So be true to yourself, and I'm going to say this for everyone. Be true to your truth. Be true to your inner integrity, and be as real as you can be. Thank you so much for joining me for this new moon solar eclipse, which is on Thursday. And if you would like a one-to-one with me for astro coaching, my website is in the description box underneath the video, and the link to my YouTube channel is in the description box underneath the video. And also, before I go, I want to say thank you so much to my lovely friend Andrea Britton, because she gave me a belated birthday present, and it's PPP. If you remember, in the old days I was called Planetary Penny. Now, I'm not going to tell you what she said PPP stands for, but any suggestions, as long as they're not rude, please put in the description box or in the comments section underneath. Be very interesting to see what you think PPP stands for. And it's not a medical insurance company, because we have one of those in the UK. Oh, God. I shouldn't be advertising them. Anyway, on that note, thank you so much for watching. And I really look forward to seeing you at the end of the month on the 24th with the full moon in Capricorn, which will be streamed live via Gozo in the House magazine, which is an online digital magazine. If you've not subscribed, you really should. It's great. It's awesome. And I will see you much later on. Thank you so much. Bye for now.